Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Amplify Your Authority. I'm Marissa Shadrick. I'm online marketing strategist and certified copywriter. And I have a special guest with me today that I know you're absolutely going to love her. She is not only one of my clients, but she's a dear friend. She's a dear friend. Her name is Marla Regan. She's a certified productivity strategist and family manager coach, and she is the owner of Organized Time. She's been doing this since 1997, and she's been transforming lives for her clients, helping them tackle both the mental and the physical clutter, because we could have both. Her expertise is amazing. She is warm, inspiring. She has a wonderful approach to organization. She coaches clients. I was one of her clients as well. She coached me during a season of chaos to greater efficiency and effectiveness in their personal and professional environment. So welcome, Marla Regan. Hi. How you doing, Marla?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting, Marissa. Thank
This
you.
is fun. This is long
Yes,
overdue,
I
right?
think so.
I
Yes.
love how you phrase that about the physical and the mental clutter, because that is so true. Maybe we have everything organized and our living room looks great and our laundry is done, but we could have mental clutter. Do you want to explain a little bit about that? And we'll open with that because that one caught my attention.
Absolutely. Yesterday I was driving home from Louisiana, and one of my clients called and she said, we're so close. We're so close, but we need to go through my closet because that's really beginning to bother me. And I thought, you know what? Yes. We've got little pockets of clutter here and there. And for a little while, it's okay. It's okay. But all of a sudden, it's like a little light bulb goes off in your mind and you think, oh no, I can't handle that anymore. It's time to go through that. It's like, having your Christmas tree still up in February. You decide, you know what? That is enough. It's time for it to come down. It's time to get the Christmas lights off the house. And so that's basically,
Yeah, I
a
don't
good,
know if we
yeah,
want to try to, hang some hearts on the tree in February, but it's probably better to get it down, right?
I think
Especially if
so.
it's a real one.
Oh, no kidding. It'll come down by itself if it's
I
a real
know.
one.
Tim Burr, right? So
Exactly.
you
Yes.
help people not only in the personal lives, but also in business life. And I know
Mhm.
as an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur yourself. Organization is a big part, right? We have to
Yes.
have not only structure and planners and systems and workflows.
Mhm.
Where do you start when it comes to an entrepreneur about helping them if they're in the midst of maybe growing their business and
Mhm.
they still want to have some work-life balance? What do you
Right.
recommend?
I recommend knowing exactly what you want to do, when you want to do it, and it's not just business. Michael Hyatt calls it the double win. You're winning at work and you're winning at home. And when you have those two things in place and in order, then you're going to have present productivity, which means when you're at work, you're mentally at work and you are on task. But then when you're at home, you're mentally at home and you're on task at home. And you're not looking at your phone while you're at home, or you're not looking at your cameras at home to see what your dogs are doing at work. You are definitely in your lane, in the proper place at the proper time. And that is so very important. And when you know what projects are coming up, and you look at your calendar and you do what is called calendar blocking so that you can get those tasks done for that particular project. It may be 30 minutes. It may be 3 hours. It depends on the size of the project and all of that. But what you're doing is you're preparing yourself, and yourself mentally as well as physically, and everything around you for the project that you're working on, so that when the time comes, you're going to go into a meeting or whatever, you're prepared. You've done your homework and you've put
Yeah,
that time aside to do the homework. So
yeah.
you're not studying till 2 a.m. like we did in college. You're actually ready to go. You're rested, and it's all a go. So,
Yeah, so it sounds like just by having a place to put what we need to do on a calendar or whatever organizational tool
Mm-hmm.
you use, it sounds like what you're saying is gives us a sense of relief that we're not going to forget about it. It's already scheduled somewhere on our calendar to block off time. And that's how we can shut it off at the end of the day, because that's the thing. When we're busy, it's hard to shut it off.
You're right. You're right. And that needs to be planned all by itself. If you know that you have a family at home, then what time are you going to work until? When are you going to set that alarm so that you can look at where you are, start putting things away, tidying up your workspace, whether you're at home or in an office, it doesn't matter. What time are you going to start leaving yourself clues for the next work day so that when you do come in, everything is ready for you to get down to work? You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to have to tidy up when you get back into the office. It's all put away. It's exactly where you need it. You know what you're still looking for, like an email or a phone call back or whatever little thing that you still need information. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that sounds really helpful,
yes.
because I think the time blocking too, one of the things that I had to do this year was to block out a couple of days during the week where I didn't take any um, calls, like discovery calls or when people are inquiring. I do that 3 times a week, but there's 2 days, Monday being one of them, that is more like a in in office day, and I catch up on a lot of things. And that way, if my week is really busy, I know, well, I've got Monday where I can work on that without any interruption.
Yes.
Is that kind of what you're talking about? The blocking?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. And I say that you need two things on your calendar. One is catch up time. And I
Mm-hmm.
think every entrepreneur needs an administrative time. And it
Mm-hmm.
is a block of time where you are looking at, what do I still need for this client? What do I need for this presentation? What do I need for this meeting? And you're getting everything all prepared, and you know that you have what you need when you need it. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing that we need on our calendar is do nothing time. We need self-care time. That is so very important. And whether it is you're going to take a lunch break and go outside and enjoy a glass of tea and just breathe fresh air, you
Yeah.
come back refreshed and ready to go again because you have taken that mental break as well as the physical break.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
so, so
I think that
important.
the tendency is to think, well, I don't have time to just go outside and take a 30-minute lunch. I've got so much to do. But what I hear you saying is that when you come back refreshed, you're probably more productive because you've refueled and you've given yourself a little break. Is that right?
Absolutely. You're
It
going to
almost
make
feels
less mistakes.
counterproductive, huh?
It
Yeah.
sounds counterproductive. But on the other hand, you're going to make less mistakes. You're going to come back and you've given your brain a break. And
Mm-hmm.
your brain is going to go, I've got a great idea.
Yeah.
You're going to go, whoa. Had you
Yeah.
not had that break, you may not have gotten that great idea that's going to boost you and improve what you're doing. So,
Yeah. There are times, depending on when I wake up in the morning, because client calls can be early, sometimes they're in the afternoon, just
mhm.
depends. So I don't always start at the same time. So that's one of the things that kind of throws me off. But I know at the end of the afternoon, if I'm having to read something twice or look at something and say, what was I doing? What was I working on? I know that it's time to quit. It's time to quit and start fresh, because I'll be able to get far more done in the morning with a fresh brain than
Yes.
trying to push through till, say, 5 o'clock if I've gotten up super early that particular
Right.
morning.
And that
So,
brings up another point, Marissa, is it's not so much the time management that we are managing, but it's our energy that we are managing. And if
mm-hmm.
you know that you are sharp early in the morning, then by all means get started early in the morning. And
Yeah.
when you begin to fade and okay, it's like what you said. It's like, why did I come into this room? It's time to take a break. And another thing is to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And that is super important. Of course, it's going to get you up and get you moving a little more. However, it's very important for brain health, body health to stay hydrated during the day. So,
So when you talk about this, because it's interesting, the title "Time Habits," it
mhm,
sounds like it's a real focus on building good, healthy habits when it comes to productivity, and those negative beliefs that taking this time, 15 minutes, is
mhm,
detrimental to me. Reframing that and realizing that it's not, or at least trying it to prove that it's not. So, where
mhm.
does the habits come in?
Well, habits are things that um, it's a shortcut for your brain. Your brain doesn't have to figure out, okay, I
Oh,
have
I
to
like that.
stand up, I have to turn around, I have to go to the door, I have to turn the doorknob. You're not thinking about every little bitty thing. You're getting up, you're getting out, and you know how to go downstairs and do what you need to do. So habits are that little shortcut that your brain takes. If you will think back to the time when your mom said or your dad said, "Hey, it's time to learn how to drive." And he hands you the keys or she hands you the keys and you go get in the car. Everything is so deliberate. Just having the key, looking, putting the key in the hole, and you're looking at the mirror. I mean, everything is so slow and deliberate. And now, do we even think about it? We grab our keys, we get in there, and we're out the door and we're down the street before we know it.
Yeah.
So we have cultivated that habit of getting in the car, putting it in gear, checking everything, everything's good, and heading out down the street. But initially, it wasn't that way. So that's how a habit goes. And habits can be good, they can be bad. One little habit that I have that is so funny, kind of, sort of, is I I turn my lamp off every night before I go to bed. And last night I caught myself because my lamp was not on. My husband's lamp was on. And I reached down and I said, "It's not on. I don't have to turn it off." But I was reaching because that was the automatic thing before I got into bed, was to turn that lamp off.
Ah.
So we have little habits that we're really not even aware of. They're just automatically
Mhm.
built in. And if you're not sure about one of the habits, move your trash can. You're going to go to the old place every single time. So
And put
that
trash on the floor. So that's not good.
exactly. It's like, oh, it's not there anymore. We moved it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I love that because the habits help us to do the things. Well, if we cultivate good habits, it
Exactly.
helps us to do
Hmm.
things in a way that's healthier, more productive. I love that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what about? So, it sounds like you're talking about evening rituals, maybe, and
Hmm.
morning rituals. How do you start developing a habit? What if you don't know that you've developed some bad habits? You just know that life is chaotic. Where
Hmm.
would they start to build a
Oh,
habits for
right.
like a day?
Well, I would start with what Brian Tracy says: think with a pencil, and get out
Mm.
a pencil and a pad and start writing down what you're doing and what changes you would like to make.
Ah.
And it's the changes that are going to take a little bit of thought and a little bit of maybe a habit tracker. I want to get up at this time. I want to brush my teeth, take my supplements, drink some water, do my devotions. And, what are the things that you want to do in the morning that is going to set you up for success for the rest of the day?
Mm-hmm.
And my big thing is, in order to set yourself up for success for the morning, you have to start the night before. And
Mm.
that is looking at, where do you need to be? What time do you need to be there? How do you need to show up? And get all of those things prepared. If you're going to be out the door, then your bag needs to be packed up and ready to go. And also, I tell people, check your coffee. Because if you're out of coffee, that's going to ruin your morning, and you don't want to find out first thing in the morning that you're out of coffee.
That's for sure. It'll ruin my morning.
Exactly. So check on that, because you could do something about it the night before. And you can run to the store and get coffee, or you can make other plans. And that way you're mentally prepared for either no coffee or whatever it is that you want to do. So make sure every little thing that you're going to do in the morning, you've covered and reviewed with yourself the night before. And that way, I feel like you're going to get a much better night's sleep, because your brain isn't ruminating about, okay, what am I going to wear tomorrow? Oh no, how am I,
Yeah.
how am I going to get there? And no, you're going to be
Yeah.
much more relaxed and better prepared. And when you're better prepared, you're going to rest better. So,
Yeah, I love that because you said, what are you going to wear? And it's interesting because I hadn't realized this until you said that.
mhm.
I'm in a really busy season right now because I'm preparing a workshop for the end of the month. And so there's a lot of thought in creating just the opt-in page, how I'm going to promote it, technology. And so I knew that the next few weeks would be really, especially this week, would be pretty intense. And so automatically I said, I'm not even going to think about what I'm going to wear. I've got these like 7 dresses that I bought that the patterns are all different, but they're very similar. I said, I'll just wear those. I used to wear those in Nevada because it's really hot in Nevada, but it's not so hot here. And I just instinctively said, I'm not even going to worry about what I have to wear in the morning. And that's why I'm wearing a dress is because I'm just going to grab one of those dresses and I don't have to spend what limited thinking power I have on figuring out what I'm going to wear.
Exactly.
And I must have done that instinctively because I've done that before. When I get really busy, I shortcut other things.
Exactly.
And one of the things is emails. Boy, I am the quick to delete emails. I just look at the URL to see delete, 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 delete. And I don't even have time to unsubscribe. I do that another time. But if I'm really busy, I just go through and I don't even poke around to see if there's a webinar going on. Because I'm focused on what I need to get done. And so I think that's what you're talking about, that when we develop some habits or some routines that we know have worked, when we do have those busy seasons, we can kind of default into those routines that we know have been helpful for us.
Yes.
So that's interesting because I hadn't thought about that.
Absolutely.
Now, what about when we do our part and we've got some good healthy habits, but all of a sudden you get an email from a client or somebody needs something from you yesterday. And all of a sudden what you beautifully planned to do that day gets interrupted. How do we handle those situations?
That's a great question. It's usually you push your stuff aside. However, we can put boundaries in place and know that what is an absolute something that is non-negotiable on your calendar, that that in order to get from point A to point B, you've got to stay in your lane and do that. And if it is a yesterday thing, it's either refer that to somebody else or think of it as you're just not available mentally or physically for this particular client. And it is coming up with an alternative to help them. You don't want to not help them, but what can we do to get at least something done so that it is a win-win for both of you? But let them know, you know what, I just have a few minutes and let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can get to where we need to go. And does this have to be right now? Can I help you maybe this afternoon or first thing in the morning?
I like that.
What can we do? Because you're building your business, and yes, we're servants. We have a servant heart, but it comes a point where that boundary needs to be put in place. If you go to the grocery store at 5 minutes after their closing time and bang on their door, I'm sorry, but we're closed. And
That's
so
true.
we need to have those hours of operation when we know when we are available. And that's usually when we're fresh, we're prepared,
Right.
and we know how to help who we need to help. So,
Yeah, I think that's true. And
mhm,
I think if you just respond, if it's an email, for example,
mhm,
and you just respond, oh, I received your email. Just wanted to let you know I'm in the middle of a project right now. Is it okay if I get
mhm,
back to you tomorrow? Or
right.
can we schedule something later this week? Because
Mhm,
I want to go deeper in this conversation. Just a
exactly.
response. Not hearing anything, crickets,
Right. No.
drives people crazy. It drives me
Yes.
crazy because I don't know if they
Yes.
got the email. I'm going to hear back from
Mhm,
them. But if they just say, oh, I
mhm.
got your email, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Is that okay? A lot of times people are okay with that because they get it. They get
Yes.
how busy you can be.
Right.
So I love that, not feeling the need to have to drop everything and making everything urgent, right?
Right.
Including like, does that include like when my husband walks into my office and asking me questions about something that happened today? And I said, well, can I talk to you later about that? Because right now I'm in the middle of something and I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out this technology stuff. So,
You know what?
but
Oh my goodness. The exact same thing happened here today. Probably same time as going on in your office. I'm in the middle of technology. What do you
yeah.
need? I just need a kiss. I'm leaving. Oh, okay.
Exactly. So we probably want to be a little bit more gentle with those that we live with, but I think they understand because
Yeah.
too. I told my husband that I would be really busy the next couple of weeks, and all he said was, "Well, let me know how I can help you.
Oh,
Let me know
that's
how I can
great.
help you."
Yeah.
So he's very supportive, but I give him the heads up. I think this is what's coming up, and it's just for a couple of weeks, and other than that,
Yeah.
everything will be fine. And he just says, "Well, let me know how I can help you." And then
And
he'll even
Marissa,
cook or
that's
something.
huge.
Yeah.
That is communicating
Mhm.
with the people not only in your household, but communicating with your team. Here's where
Mhm.
we are. Here is what I need help with. Here is why dinner will not be on the table at the normal time.
Mhm.
And so once people know what's going on,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot more grace given.
Yeah.
And, um, and people don't realize how important communication is. And
Yes.
that is another thing that I recommend this for families with small children or school age children to have a time where they come together once a week, usually on Saturday mornings. And if it's hard to get your family to the table on Saturday mornings, then have cinnamon rolls. That'll get them there every time. It smells wonderful.
Ooh.
Yes, see, you're already at the table. And
Yeah.
then, and everybody has a planner. And I recommend that they have a paper planner and everybody has a turn, mom, dad, and each child. Where are you going to be? What's going on at school? Do you have a test this week coming up? What projects do you have? This asking about the projects eliminates that going to get a poster at 7:30 on Sunday night. So
Yes. I've done
we,
that with my granddaughter. She goes, I need to create this project. When is it due tomorrow? And I need a and I
yes,
go, oh my gosh. Okay. So we'll
yes,
go and get it. But
exactly.
nowadays though, they have portals in
Yeah.
for school. So it's a lot easier to see ahead of time if the teachers put
Yeah,
all that information there for parents. So thank goodness for technology that we got portals and stuff we can check.
exactly. And then you can check that portal and then tell your child, okay, I see that you have a book report due. Where's your book? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to sit down and read, physically read your book or read it on Kindle, however they're reading books these days, and spend this much time. And then we're going to talk about the book. So
Mm-hmm.
parents really need to be hands on, and this is very important. This also helps entrepreneurs who have children, and so that you're having that double win at home as well
Yeah.
as in the office. You know what's going on at home and you know what's going on with your children. This
Right.
also gives you that present productivity at home to know, okay, here's the list of things that need to be going on with your children and keeping them on track. And you are also giving them the time management life skill that kids just really don't have these days.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's
yeah.
true. And I think you've taught me well, Marla, because I'm thinking over the weekend
Mm-hmm.
instinctively. Okay, the dresses was one example. The other thing I did was my husband was going to go grocery shopping for me so I can get some things at home done ahead of
Mm-hmm.
time. And I said, why don't you get a few things so I can make some a crock pot of jambalaya because he loves it. I love it. And I knew a crock pot, if I make it on Sunday, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
last a few days. And I said, I'm
Right.
going to be really busy. So I'm going to make a crock. And he loves it because it's got all this chicken and sausage and shrimp and it's like delicious.
Yeah.
And
Good
so
food.
I made the crock pot. So I think you've taught me well because
Yeah.
when I know I'm going into intense mode,
Mm-hmm.
I instinctively start thinking, where can I shave time and what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just not that we need it all the time. I mean, I'm really
Yeah.
busy right now, but
Mm-hmm.
not regularly. I can cook every day, or we'll
Mm-hmm.
barbecue and we'll have leftovers the next day or something. But in those seasons when it gets really busy, especially for entrepreneurs, if they're
Right.
launching a product, if they're writing a book or launching a book, something like that, we get it. They're really busy, but there is a
Yes.
way where you're saying that we can make the most of each day if we just plan, right?
Yeah, exactly. And what you're doing by the crock pot cooking, it's batch cooking because you
Mm-hmm.
know that and if there's any left over, you can put it in the freezer for
Mm-hmm.
later. But it's also finding time to batch write, to write your blogs. You don't have to just write one for the whole month.
Mm-hmm.
Not one, but for each week for the next month, and do your videos, batch your videos together so that you're only having to get these things out one time, but you're taking care of it for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also a great time habit, is to look ahead and let technology help you.
Yeah.
So
I think
yeah.
that's why repurposing is
Yes.
such a buzzword for
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship because so much that we do, we repurpose because chances are someone is not going to see it if it's in written form.
Right.
And that has saved me a lot of time. Then you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at just a few topics that you're going to be talking about in a particular month. And those topic ideas end up being a LinkedIn newsletter. It ends up being a podcast. It ends up
Mm-hmm.
being a Monday marketing memo. It ends up archiving in my blog. It ends up on YouTube because I also record these in video and audio. So you get a lot out of one topic that you've already researched and this is, keyword driven and it's something that people are going to want to consume. So
Right.
that's a big one to be able to do that. And that has been so helpful. And you can get so kinds of, if you want, social snippets from that. And now technology with Canva, they have the bulk create now. I don't know if you've seen that, Marla, but
Not yet, but I will
so
be
I
looking.
I did record something for a program of mine that you're in, so you'll be able to see it. I think it went up
Yay.
yesterday. But bulk create in Canva is a great way. I see it best for quotes where you can have like a spreadsheet, a CSV file, and
Mhm.
you import it and it will create these quote
Oh,
cards in a second. It just
nice.
boom. And
Mhm.
then you just drag and drop some images behind it. It's
Mhm.
just like the greatest thing that I
Oh
have
my
seen.
goodness.
And so I love it. So there's things, technology can help us save time, but I think the
Yes.
key, because no tool is going to help us if we don't plan, right?
Right. Exactly.
I think we need to plan and develop those habits. And can you help people find those pockets of areas that
Yes.
maybe they're not,
Yes.
maybe they could do it more efficiently?
Hmm. Absolutely. I have got a form and it's called an ideal week. And it
Mm.
is when you just look at from Sunday all the way to Saturday evening, Sunday morning to Saturday evening, and you fill in with the things that you normally do every week. And then you see these little pockets of time. Well, I'm working on this
Mm.
project, so I can really work on this project right here, and then I can do this here. And so you're looking at where you want to spend your time, where you need to spend your time, where you're going to decide, okay, at this time is when I'm going to stop work, I'm going to clean up my desk, and then I'm going home. Whether you are in home already, it doesn't matter. You're going to leave your office, close your door, and then you become
Yep.
somebody's wife, somebody's
Yeah.
mother.
I
So,
like that. I'm going to do that.
yeah,
I'm going to close my door when I'm done. I haven't done that
yes,
yet. So I'm going to
yeah,
shutting down the computer is kind of my signal everything is over with, because I can't do anything with my computer's off, but I think I'm going to close the door. Now, Marla has some amazing planners too. If they want to be able to get this one worksheet that you're talking about, how can they get that from you?
If they would email me, Marla R at organizedtime.com, I will be happy to email that to them. And
cool.
Yes.
Now, if they want to talk to you and maybe get a little help. Now, I know I hired you when it was a holiday. It was holiday season. There was a lot of things going on at the time, and I was hosting. My family was coming. I had just started a keto lifestyle, so I had to have all new recipes for the holiday season. It was a hot mess. We needed the carpets cleaned. There was a cracked tile we needed repaired. I mean, you name it, there was all kinds of things coming out of the woodwork. And you helped me just like step off the ledge, create a plan. And it was literally, my husband said, it was the best holiday ever as far as the food and everything. And I was the most relaxed. I was able to enjoy the holiday.
The way it's supposed to be. Absolutely the way it's supposed to be. A friend of mine who lives in Galveston, it was Christmas time. She was busy cooking and all this, and it started snowing. That is a very rare occurrence, especially down in Galveston. I'm like, 50 miles from Galveston. So, but anyway, she said, I was so busy, I could not stop to go enjoy the snow with my son. I thought, wow, that broke my heart.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, you cannot be that busy in the holidays. This is you're not a machine. You're here to enjoy that time of year and enjoy your family and make those memories. So having a plan of action, a time when you know you're going to cook, when you're going to eat, when you're going to do all of the things you're going to do, that will absolutely give you that peace of mind. And that's what I'm all about, is to give you peace of mind.
And it definitely helped me. And I'm a pretty organized person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty structured and I have routines and I've developed habits. But during that time, I said, you know what? I need help. And that's one thing I think people have to realize, when to raise their hand and say, I need help.
Yes.
And not say, well, when things slow down, it'll get better. A lot of times it doesn't. So if they need to talk to you, how can they get in touch with you? If they want to hire you, if they want to talk to you, potentially have maybe a working relationship with you, how can they do that?
Well, all they need to do is they can go to my website and click on Let's Talk. It will take them to my calendar and they can find a time. And when we get together, it's like a 20-minute chat. And I am all ears. I'm listening to see how I can help you do what you need to do. And just like when you and I got together, you told me exactly what was going on, and I was able to come up with a good plan of action for you. And that is my superpower. I find solutions for people's situations. It's like one of those little itches that you just have to scratch. And I am looking for, how can I connect you to a program? How can I connect you to a tool? Whatever. So,
and I think for entrepreneurs too, you help them, because I know you've had clients, you've helped them with all of their documents and paperwork and organize all of that. Because so often it gets put in a box or something and they don't know where everything is. And maybe they want to write their will, all kinds of things that you start thinking about, having passwords and how do family members access those. You help them with all that stuff, right?
I do.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. So take it from me that someone who is very organized, I'm a type A, right? Checklists all the time. And I needed help and I hired Marla. And I also use Marla's Anytime Planner. You can explain what that is. And I also purchased her journal, which is amazing. So she's got some great resources, but I love the Anytime Planner. You want to talk about that? Can they still buy that?
Sure. The Start Anytime Planner is available on my website. I also have a a dated planner that I will be doing 2025 planner here pretty soon. And, but the Start Anytime planner is a place for you to write your goals at the beginning of each month and to review those and keep up. There's a 2-page month and a 2-page week. So you can look at all of your times. And I recommend that you think about what it is that you want to do and put it down on paper and then take it to your electronic calendar, because then you can set alarms and set reminders for the appointments. And even if it's your little work time, you can set the reminder that, okay, it's time to stop that and go into doing something else. So,
there's something magical about having a physical calendar
Mm-hmm.
and putting everything in there. It almost feels like it unlocks your brain.
Yes.
You can put everything in there. You can turn a page, write some notes down, and then prioritize. And the priorities get on my digital calendar.
Right.
And then I can always go back and forth. And that way my digital calendar isn't cluttered with all kinds of stuff. And also your journal is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
And
Thank
very
you.
nice. That's your latest project. That's the latest one that you've released. And that is also available on Amazon.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Marla, this has been so great. I just
Thank
love
you.
having you because you ooze this topic. You understand productivity so well, and you're so patient with everyone, right? You were so patient with me as I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get all this stuff done. And you're very patient with everyone.
Well, there's no judgment with me. I understand. I, was a mom. I was a military wife with 2 small children. And, I did not, my husband was out saving the world. So he was gone a lot. So I totally understand how it is to get up early, get the girls ready, get me ready, go to school. I was a school secretary for many years. And, it was when they had, take your daughter to work day, it was like, I do that every day. So,
for
so
sure.
I understand, that I don't want to call it a struggle. It was life, and I understand. And you also have to be patient with yourself with what season of life you are in. That is so very important, because right now you and I are both empty nesters. So our time is our own. But when we have children at home and we're running a business or we're working or whatever, we have to divide our mental space among family and work. Where are they? What are they doing? Okay, they're too quiet over there. I need to go see.
I love that term because I am finally an empty nester now that I moved to Tennessee, because for the past 11 years, my daughter and granddaughter lived with us. We're all one family unit in California, well, in Nevada, and then last 2 years in California. And it didn't feel like an empty nester at all. There was a lot of the school projects and the homework and all the things that go on, and listening when it's too quiet. And now I finally feel like an empty nester here in Tennessee. And it's so much better because a lot of my clients are from East Coast and Central Time Zone. And it was really hard when I was Pacific Time. So I'm feeling the difference and the relief of just being in a better time zone too. But I don't recommend that to move to another time zone, but it sure helped with what I was doing. So thank you, Marla, so much.
Thank you.
Any last words? I'm going to put all the links also in the show notes on the replay. So any last words for people of encouragement or some piece of wisdom you want to pass on?
You know what? I would recommend find time for you. Take time for you. That is so very important, because if you're not rested and relaxed and rejuvenated, when you go into those projects and things like that, and that feeling of, I've got to get this done, hurry up, let's get off the phone, and that comes across to your clients. They feel that tension in you. But when you have stepped back and taken time and you have prepared, then that more relaxed person, that person that is going to give your client that one-on-one feeling that they're the only one in the world, which you're so good at doing, Marissa, I have to say, then I really feel like that is going to help you really be successful in your business. So
That's awesome. That's good advice.
yeah.
Good advice. Thank you, Marla. Again, I'll put all the details in the show notes. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It really is an important topic, not only for your business, for your family, but for your health. So contact Marla, get a hold with her. She's just so open and so giving. You can have a conversation with her, and it'll probably be the best decision you ever made. So thank you, Marla, again. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.